Dollars on the screen to the party. I thought it was a movie. Okay, so anyway, I'm sitting here, right? And the desk is fucking I remember when I built these racks, the V8 and the Mercurius, to sort of keep equipment there. But then I'm like testing equipment, so now my desk is just this square again. And anyway, wallpaper available in the description. Don't forget to check out Hi-Fi Guides in the forums. You know that I administer a forums. I don't run it. It isn't my forums. It's sort of become its own Hi-Fi Guides thing, and I'm gonna push it more. God damn it, I miss the forum atmosphere, and at least a modern forum doesn't act like crap. Not these. These are the Mackie MC450s. These are the 5XX, and these are the blonde. What the fuck are you? Blonde BL 400s. God, you've been on my wall for so long. I've literally fucking forgotten. I took down a couple of headphones I haven't used in a while. What are you, baby? You are the Sivga. You're the Sendy Iva's offshoot that was right before I found the ones I liked the most, which are the ones of the acoustic research. So yeah, you're a planar. I'll link them. Whatever the hell they are, I'll link them. Jesus. It's been a while since I've done a review. I've been in like a slump, and I think it's got to do with the COVID vaccine. But no conspiracy theories. I'm much better now. Anyway, as I sit here on my very crowded desk with a couple headphones, and the Sabaj stack. I promised you a stack, and I promised you a stack in the A10A review, which happened on the other side of the basement. And I really fucking love the way this thing sounds. And some people are like, well, mono, having the power supply internally isn't always the best because, if it breaks, you can't. But it's $135. You're going to get 5-6 years out of this. And then if it breaks, I would be like, oh, that was a pretty good run. Having less clutter is just so much better. This has possibly also dual mono Infineon drivers for the speakers. ASMR. And I fucking love this thing. It has sub out and everything. Now, these are the other two units. I didn't bother plugging that in because I'm on my desk here and I just can't put more speakers anymore. This, which I will pick up as much as I can. This does have external power bricks, which are hanging down on the floor. They're hanging in the middle of the air, which is perfectly fine. And they're two units, the A10H and the A10d. One is a DAC and one is a headphone amplifier. They share the exact same terrible blue display that this has. I'm getting more and more used to it. I think this light also renders it a little bit nicer. It's just blue, and you could dim them both. I think you could dim them both. We'll check that later on. And I'm going to do them both in the same time because, frankly, well, they both have very interesting reasons to get it. The DAC is a bit expensive. I just found out the price of the DAC because Hi-Fi Express sent this to me. And so only this was out at the time, and then they sent me the other two, but then I didn't know the price, the page didn't load. And the DAC is $260, which is a bit of a DAC cost. It's like, considering the headphone amp is like $120 and this is $135. So the DAC costs, well, it does cost as much as both the other amplifiers combined. So that's the thing. I've got them connected together with these World's Best RCAs. World's Best RCAs. Not sponsoring the channel yet, but goddamn it, I'm trying because I keep buying them. I'm feeding it fiber optic from the computer. It's got a little Bluetooth antenna. We've got a coaxial input, fiber optic. There's a USB micro because, $260 for a modern 2021 DAC. You definitely want to put a micro and not a USB-C. That's a joke, by the way. Put a USB-C on everything. The top, the amplifier is, well, just that. It's amplifier. It's got ins and it's got RCA out, so you can switch between to use as a preamp and power in, and you're done. Now, the fascias are remarkably similar. I do have to complain a little bit that this is not a balanced amp. And a lot of amps are going balanced, and I actually had a hard time gathering headphone cables that are 1/4 inch because I wanted to be able to switch between them without dismounting shit. So the Mackies luckily come with a weird, not proprietary, but specific cable. It's only 3.5 millimeter with an adapter. I took out the 5XX so I could use, 5XX is using this. And then I got a periapt cable out to use on the blondes. I swear to God, my brain is just like, nah, you're not going to remember that. It's fine. Both of these are, actually, all three of these are remote control capable, which is kind of interesting because it's the first time, if you people are the stack people, Not stacks like electrostatics, like stack, like you like stacks, brah. You'll be very happy to and pleased to know that for the first time ever, the SMSL style remote, because remember it's a Sabaj, A, B, and C actually function. I can't show you the speaker amp because it's not plugged in, but I think we do B. B is the speaker amp. A, oh, I should probably use one, no. Probably use one that has batteries in it, because I didn't bother feeding batteries into all of them. So A is the speaker amp. B, which makes sense because A for amp, controls, listen, is the headphone amp and all its menus. And then C is the DAC. So you could actually use one remote for the whole stack. First time it's happened. First time in the whole of Z reviews that's happened. We're just going to put the speaker amp like back here and leave it alone. Oh, side note, SMSL amplifiers don't work on my home theater. They just distorts and nothing else happens. They're perfect on their own. Other amplifiers are perfect in the home theater, but for some reason there must be a hidden frequency channel that just causes distortion. More on that when I do the mini DSP video, because that's coming up. In fact, I should do the final of that today, now that I've worked that out. That was the final kink in the whole thing. So, display, different size screens, because one has to be slightly smaller so that you're going to use the 1/4 inch. No balance. Both have digitally volume knobs. This one, I have this one set. Hold on. That's the input. We want input 3 optical. FL is filter. DF, I should really It's more of that fucking cryptic shit where I can't decipher it because it's like DF. I wonder what that means. Oh, you got to get the manual out. So I actually had to get the manuals out to verify what the fuck I'm doing. So it's going to say IN. This is for the DAC, by the way. This is the DAC setting. The DAC has no outputs in the front. It's going to say IN, and that's input, and we're on 3. And it's going to say FL, and that's filter, or PCM filter, and that's on 1 for a sharp roll-off filter. And then we're going to hit it again, and it's going to go to DF, which is DSD filter, which has options 1 and 2. Then it's going to have PR0, which is pre-mode, fixed or variable. So I have it on fixed because we're going to the amplifier upstairs. Otherwise, this would control the volume on the DAC. And then you go around one more time. Sound color, 1, 2, and 3. Doesn't say what they are, just says 3 of sound style. I'm leaving it on 1. I'm leaving it on 1. We'll play with that later. And then finally, BL, which is brightness. Because BL stands for brightness. Or blueness, I guess, BL. So we can lower that down, and then we can do the same here. We'll lower that down. And you can do the same there. So you can make it very dim blue, but it's still fucking blue. That literally covers the inputs on the DAC. The amplifier only has 3 options, which I got to give respect to this little amplifier, this headphone amplifier, because, well, several reasons. I like when I have to go like out of my way to fucking compliment something. Number 1, it's very basic. And I know that's weird to say because I love like the Tone 2, the Codis Tone 2, and it's like, that is not very basic. That is alien technology. But every once in a while, just give me a fucking amplifier. Plug it in power, give it signal, knob, done. You hold the knob, it turns off. It has a little power indicator in there in white. You hold it again, it turns on. It says A10h. That's it, and then it outputs. Now, your options in this are pre-out mode, which you can literally switch. When you switch PR1, it's outputting through the RCAs, and you would adjust the volume. And you hold it again, and then 0, and it outputs to the headphone. So you can leave headphones plugged in and speakers plugged in. Because presumably the RCA outputs in the back of this would go to either powered monitors or another amplifier, like a tube amp or something. If it was, you would then have to figure out the volume level. This has 3 gain modes. Low, stupid, and go fuck yourself. Those are the gain modes. And it's not even that powerful according to the specs. But it's like there's a jump. It's like low. I had it on low, and I'm like, okay. And then I hit, before I had read the manual, and I knew all the fucking secrets, I hit the button and it went high. It literally says LO, and it says HI. It doesn't say HI, it says H1, but it's a little notch. If you hit it again, it goes H2. And So it's -6 on low gain, 0 on high gain, and +9 on high gain or high 2. So we'll get to it. And then brightness. So there, I've been done with the manuals. We're done. I don't have to read any more. Ignore the stack here. I've got this new switch box sent to me by VikingWeave, because I did that thing with his other switch box that proved that the 3789s didn't sound any different with the Hollow May, and he owns a Hollow May and he loves his Hollow May. So he's like, obviously the switch box was not enough. Let me engineer you something that is perfect. And so this one with a different switcher and these cables was measured by Golden One, the guy who shit on MQA and showed all the reasons why. And he says this is now does not affect sound at all. Zero. So I've been testing with that. But praise. Okay, what are we praising? So the DAC, you know my opinion on DACs and how DACs sound. So DACs need to have features for me to actually fully fucking recommend them. Now this has the AKM 4497 EQ DAC in it, which is a nice chip, I guess. I don't know. I've never taken it out to lunch or written a poem about the 4479 EQ, but I trust it to be a quality DAC, and the implementation doesn't seem off. It's the DAC itself. The DAC is the most expensive part of the stack, and I should give it more attention, but I'm not gonna. I showed you its features. I showed you it's got a remote. I showed you it's got outputs. It's got Bluetooth. It works just fine. It's got a couple of inputs. I really wish I had USB-C just for convenience of plugging in and not using a fucking micro. It's fine. It's a fine DAC. Is it worth $260? Well, there's so many things that are also $200 around that price. SU9, things like that are all doing basically the same thing. Basically, this has a sound color option, which again, not fucking with it, because then I'm going to have to, because it doesn't tell you, and I'm going to have to analyze it, and I just don't have the fucking head for it right now. So yeah, I'm going to give a yes. 260 is a bit, but if you're one of those stack people, you're gonna want the final stack. You're gonna want this. This is the sex that you have. You don't need a wife. You don't need a husband. You don't need a partner. You don't need a fucking tanga. You just have the stack, and then you just the glass. The fucking face reveal stack, all right? Which has got fingerprints because it's all glass. So the DAC, that's it. Basically, I'm done with talking about the DAC. Do you want the stack? Then you need the DAC. If you don't want the stack, then you have other options for a DAC. But I'm not going to shit on this. Here's the thing. I'm about to praise the fuck out of I've already praised the fuck out of the A10A. And I'm about to praise the fuck out of the A10H, even though it's not balanced. And you could really like get into that at this price point, or no, not, you know, it's $120, which is so fucking cheap for the amount of cleanliness this has. Because this now would probably, if you are nervous with your topping L30 amp, the little fucking one that I was like, this is so linear and so clean, this will easily replace that. Easily. It's got 2 watts a channel at 16 ohms, 1 watt a channel at 32 ohms. So it's not like a fucking powerhouse. But, you know, don't tell that to my headphones because they don't understand what the hell wattage is, apparently. The very basic design of it, listen. That means that you get a fully digital volume control, which means it'll never have like this like difference. When you turn a knob, when you turn an analog knob, the very, very bottom, you get like a slight difference because it's just trying to line up, and then they level out usually with quality pots. This is a digital knob, which means when I go click, it's half a decibel exactly right. And it is perfect. And this has that in it. So just consider that as a, and it's fast too. It doesn't fuck up. And as much as I'm not a huge fan of the blue, I like looking and seeing. Here, wait, let's go to A is for the speaker amp, B is for the DAC, I think B. Yeah, okay. So down, up, then you have function, which is the 3 gain settings, L, HI, or H1, and then H2, like the Hummer. And be careful with that. Be careful with that on the remote. Input does PR0 or PR1, which means pre-outs or not pre-outs, or headphones or speakers. And then the other option is just the blue level. Very basic. I plugged these. I'm gonna sell more of these to people who review equipment than people who enjoy music, and I fucking enjoy them for music. These are the Dunu Zens. These are the 10 millimeter. I think it's 10 millimeter dynamic IM, and they're not cheap. They're like $700, and the wire is the most insane nice wire ever on an IM ever because of that weave pattern. And these are a stethoscope to amplifiers. And I actually hooked it up. You can see I still have the attachment here for the balanced output into the balanced little thing for the Dunu Zens. And I was testing the Topping A30 Pro, review incoming, to the Singzer SA1, which I've already reviewed, and the GSX Mini, which I've already reviewed, as far as noise floor goes. And I thought that something was wrong because this amp has no noise floor. And I'm like, but wait, no, it's just got to be because I'll try it on this. And the GSX Mini Class A sounds like it's fucking raining, and it actually is fucking raining. But through the switch, volume all the way down, low gain, high gain, turn up to Singzer, and you get like an airy feeling of like, wait, I think I hear sound. Singzer's super quiet. And then the Topping here, the A30 Pro, low and medium have no noise floor. High has a noise floor. This amplifier on high 2 at 0 has no noise floor. So when you ask me, is it good for IMs that are very sensitive? Fucking yes. This might be the best amp for sensitive IMs. I mean, you put it in low and you put that in low and they both have equally silence going on. But this is $120. So this is it. This is the amplifier to buy if you just, and most IMs are not going to be balanced, right? So you got the 1/4 inch in the front, so you're just done. You're just done. So on low, I can get the volume out of, it goes to 0 and it goes down to 99, I think. Yeah, 99. On low, I was listenable volume at like kind of like happening volume on these at 45. Which I can get if I get there right. Then you switch it to high, and I had to lower it down to like 60. Then you put it on high 2, and I was at like legitimately 75 decibels below the loudest it'll get for these IMs. 75 decibels. That's below the Red Book noise floor mounts. That's insane. The headroom for like these sensitive IMs. Now these other headphones here, let's put the yeah. Oh, did I do it? Oh God. Let's put the 5XXs in them. We're at negative 75. If we want to click through low, high 2, let's just try low first. PR0, blue. It'll eventually just... The menu does reset. Wait, am I on C? No, that's C. So that's... B. There it goes. Okay. Plugging in headphones to brain. Here we go. So... on low, 5XX. I'm at -5, so that's way up near the top. But it's absolutely loud enough to play fucking Royals. Sad Clown. Fucking AC/DC. So now I'm gonna hit the function button. Okay, now high is loud at 30. Okay, so let's lower that before I hit the button again to 50. And that's high too. And now 43, so that's 42 decibels below 0 on high 2. They're loud. These are loud. So these are not that easy to drive. They're easy to drive, but not like that easy to drive. Let's try the fucking blondes. Because I have them here and I want to show you because I got them. Yeah, high 2 is high. I'd probably go high 1 for most headphones and low for IMs. You probably want to know how it sounds too. This is such a good song. This is from the Zankyo no Terror. anime soundtracks. I know I'm big old gay, loves anime. Find on Spotify if they have it, or find on Tidal, although Tidal supports MQA, so maybe we shouldn't support Tidal. But find on Quobuzz or Deezer or Spotify or Amazon Music the Zankyo no Terror OST. You'll come up. I don't have to spell it. Zank, like thank you, but Zank, you no terror, one word. Because it's beautifully made. And yes, it's very linear. It's the linear side of the equation where I talk about amplifiers being warm and cuddly and just making your music sound creamy, or very sterile and fucking, this is it. This is what you get. With the noise floor in this and whatever they're engineering, it's leaning towards that. I don't think it's like boring, but I can't, like if I'm telling you to replace the L30 with it, which the L30 had those issues where it could blow things up, maybe things blow up, maybe they don't. If you're concerned, this is an excellent replacement for that, because it stays in that sort of like very linear, like miniature A90, the most linear amplifier that I recommend. I'm probably going to say the same thing about the topping A30, but I haven't given that enough listening time to really like say that. And also look at the holes on that motherfucker. This is sort of like now the cheap option for linear. This is the cheap option for linear. Do you have to run it off the Sabaj DAC? No, of course not. You can get run off any DAC. The DACs don't have to match. You got a big, weird, fucking odd stack, which the Shelly Labs. Oh, I have the JNOG 2 here. That's getting reviewed. In fact, I should bring it to the table. Yeah. Like I tried this amp on a different DAC, and then I tried a different amp on this DAC just to fucking assess, because you can't assess a DAC and an amp if you've never heard either one. So as a group, they still function perfectly fine because it's just neutral. They don't do that much. Now, I could go in here and I can, you know what? I'll put the sound color on for you guys because you want to know what the sound color does. Zeos, tell us what the sound color does. I can hear you. So SC1. Back to SC1. I don't hear a difference. Like, it's hard to judge unless you have like a pure vocal music going on. It also sucks to have to get fucking back into it to adjust. I'm not really detecting like a bass boost or any sort of widening of the soundstage. So, I mean, if you buy the DAC, and actually, how would you hook this up as a fucking unit? Because you'd have to send the output of this to this, but then you'd have to control the volume of this and this, or just set this and not have this. I wish DACs had multiple out. That's one I'm gonna pet peeve right now. I think DACs, especially expensive ones, the ones that cost like in the $700-800 range, should give you 2 RCA and 2 XLR outs. Just non-interfering, like you could use them all at the same time. Just plop it down and feed a bunch of shit with it. Why is it always one set of RCA outs, one set? Here's the fucking topping D30 Pro, the DAC that goes with the A30. Just give me 2. I know it'll be hard to fit these on there, and it's a small-ass box, but just give me... I want to be able to plug in an amplifier and a speaker amp. Like a headphone amp. Just give me 2, because then I have to use splitters, and everyone's like, oh, splitters, ew! Even though it'd probably just be internally split, but if I did it right, it would have independent amplifiers for each set of RC. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Big up to the Dinu Zen for letting me hear that this does nothing. Because that's really the... I'm going to do this for every amp from now on. Like, as much as I remember to do it. There might be a couple mixed in now that are still delayed that I haven't done this on. But yeah, this sort of reveals some shit about the depths of an amplifier and how clean it is. And it's like, this is very clean. To the point where I was like, maybe it's not working. Unpause! Oh, God! And then I was like, oh God. I was screaming, oh, God. So yeah, let me just just someone's going to timestamp this so you don't have to watch the whole review, because it's going to be like a little 1-minute section. The A10h headphone amplifier. fucking, for $120, you cannot beat this. For just a linear clean amplifier. It's only got a watt per channel, only a watt, which is fucking plenty, and then 2 watts at 16 ohm, which nothing uses. The 3 gain settings actually do something. It's not super annoying. It's got a remote. It does a pre-out, so it's got a remote and a pre-out, and it's a headphone amp. It's good. Wish it was balanced, but it's like it doesn't have to be balanced, so we're okay with that. The DAC, a bit pricey. You would think with $120 amp and $130 amp, you'd have like a $150 DAC, but fuck you, $260. So I think it works fine with the stack. I think if you want the stack, you get it. I think if you're just looking for a DAC in general, this isn't a bad choice. I can probably use this. Just set up a set of speakers. Oh, I need a DAC with a remote control. Boom. Right now I'm using the SU9 for that duty because it's balanced. This is not balanced, so it would be a slightly different. It's priced almost like it wants to be balanced, and it's not. So it's like on the fence of me giving it like a full-fledged recommendation. And then the A10A sounds fucking phenomenal. Like literally just like, holy shit, speakers could be this clear for $130. I know that the SA300 has very, very similar features, although this might have dual mono amplification and not single Infinia. I don't know. I like the way this thing is put together. I like the way it's compacted down. So that's the stack. That's the Sabaj stack. You can get it all for, well, let's see, it's $260, it's $360, it's $380, it's $480. So about $500. It's a $500 stack that does speakers and headphones, and it gives you a DAC, and you have Bluetooth. Boom. So do you want it? Links in the description to Hi-Fi Express. I'll also link to Amazon. Some of these are on Amazon. Roughly the same price. Might be a little bit more there. That wallpaper, available in the description. Thanks to my Patreon and Subscribestar, which you get to see this review early. A couple days. I lost my buffer. I had a bad trip, brah. I had a bad trip. You get to see these videos a few days early to up a couple weeks early, depending on if fucking shit goes out of stock. And then I just leave them in Patreon and then cry because I can't release things, and therefore I run out of days. It sucks when I like try hard for like 2 days, get a video done, watch it and code it, upload it to Patreon, and then all of a sudden it's gone. Well, that doesn't even count as a video anymore because now I can't release it to public because I want to do daily videos. So yeah, Patreon and Subscribestar, see reviews early, participate in the yard sales. I haven't decided what's going to be for sale. I might sell the DAC. I might keep the DAC. I might keep the amp. Maybe, but then I could sell it as a stack because I want more patrons, and more patrons will join if I sell more things. So it's like a balance of like, what do I want to keep for reference in the future, and what do I want to sell to gain more patrons and get people to get these items for cheap? Because I'm sure if I sell that DAC, someone will bid $145 and they'll win it for that, and that's probably more on lines of what I would expect a DAC to cost for this. So yeah, Patreon, Subscribestar. $10 a month gets you into the behind-the-scenes private Telegram chat where you could ask me any questions you want, because I have to ignore the questions on all the other platforms and all the other tiers because there's just too many and I'm losing my mind. It's fine. I'm not burnt out. I'm just crazy. Wallpaper I already talked about, and I'm sure you'll see this thing pop up every now and then to do comparisons between either amps or DACs, depending on what I'm feeding it with. And we're done for today. I have to go. There's a man coming to fix my dishwasher in an hour, so I don't think I have enough time to set up another review. Well, I could set it up, but I can't do it. Anyway, we're good. I'm good. You're good. I've been Zeos Pantera. This is my channel. Don't forget to check out the unboxing channel and the cooking channel. You can find them just putting Z in front of anything, and anything that comes up on the internet is mine. If it's got the letter Z, I own it. I'm calling my lawyer. He won't like this call. He's weird.